With this WrestleTalk news, Paige's in-ring return, Keith Lee turning heel, the Rock Out of WrestleMania, and more. Can't really think of a new way to ask people to subscribe, so subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news. Subscribe a crab. Subscribe a crab.
Support WrestleTalk!
Paige was forced to retire from wrestling when she was just 25 years old after a series of neck injuries, the final one being in December 2017. WWE haven't really known what to do with her since, either appearing on the Fox Studio show backstage, randomly booking matches on SmackDown over Skype, or managing the main roster tag team of Asuka and Kairi Sane, which was obviously just a way to give a Western voice to two foreign wrestlers, in WWE's typical post-colonial gimmick fashion. You don't see that sort of thing from AEW, I tell you. But after teasing a return to the ring for a couple of years, she's now explicitly said that is her intention on her Twitch stream over the weekend. I'm not done. I'm not done yet. This is going to be my comeback story. I'm inspired. I'm so inspired by the people coming back to wrestling, and the more I think about it, I'm like, okay, mentally, I'm ready to go. I'm going to start working around, getting in the ring a little bit. This is not saying I'm making a comeback tomorrow. It's a long road. I still have to get cleared by doctors, I have to get cleared by WWE. It's such a big process, but emotionally, I'm ready. She followed this up with the tweet, "I'm not done yet, bicep curl emoji," and added her neck is feeling really good again, and she's been consistently squatting 185 pounds over the last few months, hinting that her body really could be recovered enough to return to the ring. But as she pointed out, that all depends on getting cleared by WWE's doctors, which is an interesting detail to add, because her future with the company has been in doubt since last October. Paige is very active on Twitch, which ran into WWE's new "We own everything you do now" edict from last August. While every other main roster wrestler had to either cease streaming or hand over control of their third-party accounts to WWE, Paige reportedly bucked the orders and continued to broadcast on Twitch. She was also vocally supportive of Zelina Vega continuing her streaming, which led to Vega getting released last October, tweeting, "Learned a lot about unionism today." And it just so happens Paige publicly revealed the expiration date of her current WWE contract over the weekend too, saying it's up in June 2022, so 10 months away, rather than the 2023 timeframe that was originally reported. Paige is either being just very candid on her live stream, or a savvy negotiator, putting out there that she's aiming to return to the ring in a year's time, which just so happens to be when her WWE contract expires, giving her significant leverage when renewal talks come around. Because you would assume Vince McMahon doesn't want the subject of the Rock-produced movie Fighting With My Family, which cast WWE in a ridiculously favourable light, to leave and go elsewhere just several years after it came out in theatres. Paige said of WWE, "Who knows if they will want to give me a new contract? Who's to say they would want to do that? I'd love to have Twitch as a part of the new contract." Already negotiating, before adding, "I love the WWE" on her stream the following day. Paige is the new leader of the Dark Order confirmed. What do you think will happen with Paige? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'll be replying to as many people as I can for the first 30 minutes after this video goes live. From out of nowhere. Keith Lee revealed on social media early this month that he tested positive for COVID back in February, which scarily led to heart inflammation, meaning he wasn't medically cleared for 5 months. Thankfully, Lee made his triumphant return to Monday Night Raw in July to get beaten in his home state by Karrion Kross. Kross didn't even have his sexy gimp powers yet. Lee got his win back the following week, but hasn't been seen on TV since. Instead, WWE have been booking Lee in short squash victories in the dark matches before Raw and SmackDown, and what PW Insider has reported as a way to refine his style. It's just the latest example of WWE not understanding what makes Lee work, changing his ring attire and entrance music on his main roster debut last August, making him do extra training classes back in NXT in January, and now their latest ingenious plan, when all else fails, turn him heel. WrestlingNews.co is reporting that McMahon is considering repackaging Lee as a monster heel, despite fans cheering him as a babyface at live events. Last week's Wrestling Observer newsletter supports this, where Dave Meltzer wrote WWE were looking to change Lee's style and give him a new character for him to practice during the dark matches. If only WWE had a developmental system to mold wrestlers into what they wanted, with already formed gimmicks before they got to the main roster. Do you think Keith Lee will work as a heel? Let me know in the comments down below. To be honest, at this point, if that's what gets him on TV and he's booked strongly, I'll take it. Meanwhile, WWE are focusing on their future crop of stars, reportedly already planning 2 WrestleManias in advance to be headlined by 49-year-old Rock the Dwayne Johnson, which, to be fair, is actually to get over Roman Reigns as an all-time top star, which is building the present, not the far future. This is all part of Roman's tear through WWE's biggest, still just about active stars, already beating John Cena at SummerSlam, now entering a feud with Brock Lesnar, and ultimately the final boss of his shoot cousin, The Rock. Originally, Dave Meltzer reported the order as Cena for SummerSlam, The Rock for next year's WrestleMania, and Lesnar for the WrestleMania after that. But CM Punk's AEW debut on SummerSlam weekend reportedly pushed Brock's return forward, for that feud to be happening now. But Ringside News is reporting The Rock was never actually scheduled for WrestleMania 38, as they've always wanted him for WrestleMania 39, which is set to take place at the SoFi Stadium in California, where they can build the show's Hollywood theme around him. They add The Rock is a virtual lock for Hollywood Mania 2023. Maybe he was planned for Mania 38 pre-pandemic, as the venues for WrestleManias 36, 37 and 38 were essentially shifted back a year each following lockdown. The report also notes strong rumours that Rock will appear at Survivor Series in November, where he might return to find the last man he put over as SmackDown's top heel. Becky Lynch returned to WWE at SummerSlam to squash Bianca Belair in seconds to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. This was all part of a bold new direction to position her as the top heel on the brand. As for the SummerSlam show, Fightful is reporting only Belair and Carmella were told ahead of time that Lynch would be returning, with it being kept secret from the rest of the roster, although Seth probably knew, right? And her name not even being listed on the internal run sheets. While Lynch was always planned to appear, her winning the title was a last-minute change, with Sasha Banks unable to compete in the much-advertised Bianca Belair match. This is likely why the random Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs entrance segment happened to fill out the card timing. As expected, Lynch vs Belair is being advertised in some markets for the SmackDown Women's Championship at Extreme Rules on the 26th of September. Say what you will about Lynch and Lesnar's WWE returns, they worked incredibly well for the company, with Friday's post-SummerSlam episode of SmackDown drawing an enormous 2.87 million viewers, up 500,000 from the previous week, and being the #1 show on TV in the 18 to 49 demographic for Friday night. But there's another needle-moving The Man out there, and he just showed up for yet another wrestling promotion. After accompanying Andrade to the ring at Triple A's Triple Mania earlier this month, Ric Flair appeared at last night's NWA 73 show in St. Louis, where he cut the nicest shoot interview ever. He started by thanking his wife Wendy for picking him up every time he fell down, and then also name-checked Triple H, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, and NWA President Billy Corgan as other people who have helped him. And he had some specific words for the boss of the company that just released him amidst reports of a backstage falling out. Vince McMahon, I love you. Thank you. That's why I'm here. You know what? Vince McMahon isn't going to watch this, but he's going to hear about it. But, always working, he then gave a shout out to the man who might be his next boss, AEW President Tony Khan, for improving the landscape of the wrestling business. Elsewhere on the show, Camille retained her women's championship against Chelsea Green after another successful defense against AEW's Layla Hirsch at the previous night's Empower. Le Rebellion became the new tag champions, and Nick Aldis was finally dethroned as the NWA World Champion after 1,043 days by Trevor Murdoch. The previous night's all-women's Empower show also saw Awesome Kong officially announce her retirement from pro wrestling. According to Ringside News, Jim Ross will soon be transitioned away from his full-time commentary role on AEW Dynamite to only be used for certain big matches and sit-down interviews. This is apparently at JR's request, with his 3-year deal expiring in April. JR himself has denied this report though, tweeting, "It's news to me," and AEW President Tony Khan also told the Wrestling Observer no such talks have been had. Did you know there's never been a better time to become a WrestleTalk Patreon? Well, you better realise that now, as there's only 2 days left. If you sign up for an annual backing before the end of the month, so tomorrow, you'll get 2 months free. Click the link in the video description below to discover the tons of perks you can get by becoming a Pledgehammer, including exclusive podcasts like mine and Luke's in-depth classic pay-per-view reviews and our monthly drunk cast, shout-outs on our videos, the monthly fan Quizzlemania, and entry into our fantasy predictions Wrestle League.
Get in, losers, we're going recapping. We've come to the end of one of the most interesting weeks for wrestling in recent memory. This man came back and everyone was happy, this man came back and everyone was angry, and this man is still tired from watching SummerSlam because he's in his 30s and his body doesn't like him anymore. With such huge gluts of news, both from AEW and WWE spewing hither and yonder,